There's been a lot of attention focused on Attorney General Pam Bondi's behavior during her testimony earlier this week on the Justice Department's handling of the Epstein files. But the most striking moment came when Bondi was asked to address the survivors in the room. Listen to this.
If you are willing, please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Congresswoman, you sat before Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General Bondi.
No, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a specific question.
I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
Joining us now, one of the survivors that was in that room, Jess Michaels. Jess, thank you so much for being here, as always, and returning to the weekend. You were in the room when that happened. You saw in real time what our Attorney General said and did. What is it like to have the very people that we pay to protect and defend us and on our behalf behave the way that she behaved and not even turn around and look at you and the other survivors that were in that room?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on again. I have to tell you, listening to it again, the venom hit my heart again, and I got chills hearing her say it again. We knew there would be denial. I mean, that's a given. But the level of disrespect in real time, consistently, 3 times she could have addressed us. Yeah. 3 times she could have acknowledged we were even in the room. She didn't acknowledge we were in the room.
Jess, Bondi did not provide all that much information to us. She did vaguely say, though, that the Justice Department had, quote, pending investigations in the office. It's unclear whether she was referring to investigations into prominent Democratic officials. Obviously, we know that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are going to testify before the Senate, or if these are actually investigations that are going after some of the other names that we've seen revealed in the past few weeks from the files. Have you been contacted or interviewed for any of these pending investigations? And have you heard from Pam Bondi's office since her appearance on Capitol Hill?
No, we have heard nothing. And I am one of the people that 302 is missing. And I have been working with a journalist. They have reached out to the FBI. There is an email exchange between me and FBI agent, Special Agent Amanda Young, that shows that we had just spoken, and I had given important information about a potential co-conspirator. And we can't find my 302. We can't find the dozens of emails that were sent the first time that I reached out to the FBI. It was in September of 2019. And then it would take a year and a half for that agent, Special Agent Amanda Young, to actually take a victim statement. And now that statement can't be found in the files.
And just to be clear, that is an FBI document that would summarize a witness interview. Jess, are you able to name who this co-conspirator is?
It was the girl that recruited me, and I know that she went on to work for him.
But not Ghislaine Maxwell.
Not Ghislaine Maxwell. No, in fact, I was told that my victim statement would be used in the prosecution's case against Ghislaine Maxwell. And when they explained what that process would look like, they were saying that, interestingly, they would have to redact all of the identifying information except my name, because the defense was trying to release victims' names long before the trial in order to intimidate us, which interestingly seems to be the same tactic that's being used right now.
Jess, back to the hearing in the room, and I'm struck by the photo of the Attorney General of the United States, a woman refusing to turn around and even acknowledge your presence and the presence of other survivors in the room. I'm just wondering, did you have any expectations of the Attorney General's presentation? Did you have anything that you were hoping to hear from her or hoping that she would do before you entered that room?
My expectations personally were very low because we know the playbook is denial, is constant denial. I didn't, there's a denial of trafficking happened. That's one of the narratives that's going through this administration, that it was just Epstein, which she apologized for. She said, I'm so sorry for the abuse of that monster, but there was a denial of trafficking, and there was a denial that this Department of Justice actually caused any damage. Interestingly, because she made excuses for the errors, but didn't claim any responsibility.
Many survivors were on the Hill with Democrats as they introduced Virginia's law. This is named for Virginia Giuffre. This is a headline from The Guardian. Democrats introduced a law, a bill to end statute of limitations on civil sexual abuse cases. Along with ending the statute of limitations, Virginia's law clarifies that traffickers cannot escape accountability by committing abuses in another jurisdiction. We know that you all are talking to Democrats. We also assume you're talking to Republicans. Are there Republicans who are saying that they would sign on to Virginia's law and help pass it?
Because the bill was just announced, we haven't really spoken yet to congressional members to discern who's going to sign and who's not going to sign. But I can tell you we will be advocating just as hard for this law as we did for the Epstein Transparency Files Act.
Jess, let me get your reaction to a statement on X from Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney. Says, if this committee and the American public truly want to hear the unfiltered truth about what happened, there is a straightforward path. Ms. Maxwell is prepared to speak fully and honestly if granted clemency by President Trump. Now, if our memory serves, I think when she appeared before the House Oversight Committee, she pleaded the fifth multiple times. Should she be granted? Should President Trump grant her clemency in order for her to tell her entire story?
No, convicted pedophiles and sex traffickers should not get more protection, more communication, more platform than the victims of the crime. And we have not even been given the opportunity to speak to this administration, to this Department of Justice. It is an insult, and it clearly shows the ego and the lack of remorse of that person.
If you sat across from President Trump, from AG Pam Bondi, from the members of this administration that you believe and the other survivors believe are holding something back here, what would you say to them?
Listen to us. Just sit there and listen to what we're trying to tell you. Listen to us. Because there was a quote by Marjorie Taylor Greene in a New York Times article where she said, why won't you just listen to the survivors? And he said that we had done nothing to warrant the honor of meeting with him.
That incredible. Jess Michaels, as always, thank you for your courage in continuing to speak out. And as always, thank you very much for coming to The Weekend.
Thank you for having me.